You can now add Vice President Joe Biden to the growing list of Democrats trying to insert some political distance from President Obama. This is Special Report. Good evening, I'm Brett Baer. The latest criticism of President Obama is tonight coming from a source closer to home than ever. Vice President Joe Biden is implying that the hope and change promised in 2008 has yet to materialize. And that adds to some growing troubles the president is having with his own party. Chief White House correspondent Ed Henry has tonight's top story.
Admitting disappointment from the left, Vice President Biden today told young liberal activists with Generation Progress change did not really happen, nearly 6 years after he and President Obama ran on that very platform.
Look, folks, this is within our power to change. Everybody says because we tried in 08 and it didn't happen, it's not possible. Wrong. We've gone through these periods before. But folks, this is totally within our power. Change for the better is absolutely possible, and I believe it's close to inevitable if you're the drivers of it.
The president also scrambled to meet with the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. Amid mounting criticism, he's not treating unaccompanied minors humanely enough and is too eager to deport them. As aides signaled, even more unilateral action is coming on immigration, which could mollify his political base.
What sort of executive authority he can wield to address these problems.
That would come in defiance of Republicans, who charge it was the president's 2012 executive order that helped spark the current crisis.
We've sent a signal to the rest of the other countries that are in South America that we have amnesty if they want to send their children to the United States. And, of course, we're not securing our border.
Senate Democratic leader Harry Reid insisted unequivocally yesterday, currently the border is secure.
Remember, had we done comprehensive immigration reform, we wouldn't be having this issue. And everyone here, the border is secure.
Today, White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest was not so sure.
Is the border secure?
Well, I will tell you that there are more resources that are dedicated to this border right now and securing it than there ever have been.
Securing it. But is it secure today?
And the issue that we're seeing right now is not individuals attempting to evade detection by Border Patrol officials.
Senator Reid said, he put the majority leader's office right behind him. He said, the border is secure. Do you agree with him?
The administration, under the president's leadership, has dedicated significant resources to securing the border.
The president is now squeezed between pressure from the right to finally secure that border and heat from the left, as fellow Democrats like Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley slam him for allegedly not taking care of the minors.
We have a long tradition as Americans of providing protection to refugees when they show up on our doorstep.
Word leaked O'Malley had pressed White House official Cecilia Munoz in a call Friday to not send some of the illegal immigrants to his state. That seemed like the governor playing both sides, while O'Malley advisors saw the leak as him getting thrown under the bus.
I'm not going to be in a position to share the details of a private conversation.
Now, a Biden aide told me that his comments were not about 2016. He was not distancing himself from the president. Instead, though, the aide did acknowledge that his words got jumbled and that he was referring to the fact that the tone of our politics have not changed, meaning for Democrats and Republicans. Brett?
Ed Henry, live on the North Lawn. Ed, thank you. Well, Vice President Biden perhaps is not alone in seeking some distance from the president, no matter what the aides have said. Hillary Clinton, another possible presidential contender, got a jab at it and at her old boss last night when asked about America's perceived diminished clout in the world.
We have not been telling our story very well. We do have a great story. We are not perfect by any means, but we have a great story about human freedom, human rights, human opportunity, and let's get back to telling it to ourselves first and foremost, and believing it about ourselves, and then taking that around the world.
Clinton says speculation surrounding her possible candidacy has become a cottage industry, but in somewhat of a tease about a run for the Oval Office. Clinton said she does prefer offices without corners. Now back to immigration, and the answer from people in several cities and towns across the country is no. They are refusing to accept illegal immigrants, including the children from Central America who are flooding the nation's southern border and being shipped in some cases to unsuspecting and unwilling communities. Correspondent William LaJeunesse monitors the backlash.
The surge of Central Americans has the administration scrambling for solutions. In Michigan, demonstrators squared off over plans to house 100 unaccompanied minors at a home for delinquents. In Arizona, protesters fought over housing 50 kids at a boys' ranch near Tucson.
We're being invaded by probably hundreds of thousands of illegals by the time this is over and done with.
They've been through some tough stuff. I don't think that's the way they should be greeted, and so we're saying bienvenidos.
We can't take any more.
Even the mayor of Tiny Lynn, Massachusetts, says the 250 Guatemalan children it recently took in are enough.
Now it's gotten to the point where our school system is overwhelmed, our health department is overwhelmed, the city's budget is being substantially altered.
The latest controversy, this hotel near McAllen, Texas, where the feds plan to house 600 unaccompanied minors. Offering pools, cable, tennis, and more, the hotel was to be bought by a Texas charity and operated under a $50 million federal contract. However, late today, Baptist Child and Family Services pulled out of the deal due to, quote, negative backlash. In California, a Los Angeles nonprofit placed this newspaper ad offering to pay couples $6,000 tax-free per month to care for an unaccompanied refugee minor. It, too, is under a new federal contract.
You know, it's not their fault, but, you know, it's all stuff we have to concern ourselves with. And I've got a lot of kids at home and, you know, worried about my taxes and my health.
Near Seattle, the Pentagon offered to house 600 minors in the ROTC barracks at the Lewis McChord military base. In Los Angeles, Mayor Eric Garcetti is looking for immigrant housing, but taking heat from activists who say he's, quote, ignoring kids on the street from this country. Today, one congressman introduced a bill requiring the administration to inform local officials when alien minors are relocated to their district. White House spokesman Josh Earnest was noncommittal.
There are privacy rights that are included in the law that this administration is committed to enforcing and following. So we're going to abide by the privacy rights of particular individuals.
Some lawmakers hope a bill requiring a judicial decision within 10 days of arrest will deter and stop the flow of children. Critics, however, say the administration is still failing to deport or prosecute parents who have to pay to have their children smuggled and is not addressing the thousands of cases, Brett, from Central America that do not involve minors. Back to you.
William, thank you. President Obama's pick to start the rehabilitation of the Veterans Affairs Department says the effort is already underway. Correspondent Molly Henneberg reports the man temporarily in charge says it won't be easy and it won't be cheap.
On the job just over 6 weeks, Acting VA Secretary Sloan Gibson says it will take time to earn back veterans' trust. But he told the Senate Veterans Affairs Committee today that veterans on long waiting lists are already seeing progress.
VHA's reached out to over 160,000 veterans to get them off wait lists and into clinics, and made over 543,000 referrals for veterans to receive care in the private sector.
That's 91,000 more than a year ago in just 2 months. In addition, Gibson says the VA is adding more clinic hours, trying to fill open doctor positions, and looking to buy a, quote, state-of-the-art scheduling system. Lawmakers said it's a start.
I really appreciate your stepping up during this crisis. The department needs strong leadership right now.
What has happened over the course of years is a horrendous blemish on the VA's reputation, and much more work will be needed to repair that damage.
Gibson is asking Congress for $17.6 billion to get the VA on track. Most of that money would be for constructing and renovating facilities and hiring 10,000 new staff.
Roughly 1,500 of those are actually physicians. Others are nurses and nurse practitioners and other direct patient support staff.
Some Democrats say the VA is suffering from a lack of funding in the past.
Because they were not funded properly, it built up, and new patients were added to the list from Afghanistan and Iraq wars. Maybe people miss that.
But some Republicans on the committee contend that lawmakers have poured hundreds of millions of dollars into the VA, and it wasn't well spent.
This sounds so similar to what we've heard over the years. I need more money. I need to be bigger, faster, grander. I need a bigger bureaucracy. I need to hire more people, and on and on and on. I think what you need personally is competition.
Gibson's job is temporary. The Senate Veterans Affairs Committee will hold a hearing on President Obama's nominee to be VA Secretary, Robert McDonald, next Tuesday. Brett?
Molly, thank you. Another record close for the Dow today. The industrial average gained 77.5. The S&P 500 was up 8. The Nasdaq finished ahead 10. Up next, protecting the Constitution or playing politics. The effort to sue President Obama. First, here's what some of our Fox affiliates across the country are covering tonight. KTVU in San Francisco with a not guilty plea from an upscale prostitute accused in the death of a former Google executive. Alex Tickleman is charged with manslaughter and other felony and misdemeanor allegations related to the drug overdose of Forrest Hayes. Fox 28 in Savannah with the rescue of the first of 2 groups aboard a casino boat stuck on the rocks off the Georgia coast. 2 vessels were needed to ferry 96 passengers stranded on the boat's maiden voyage. The Coast Guard says no injuries or medical issues have been reported so far. And this is a live look at Dallas from our affiliate there, Fox 4. The big story there tonight, city council members in Denton reject a petition to ban fracking. Denton sits atop large natural gas reserve. It enacted a temporary ban on drilling permits in May. That ban expires in September. That's tonight's live look outside the Beltway from Special Report. We'll be right back.